In this video, I'll guide you through how to add a custom domain on Vercel and v0.Dev. By the end, you'll know exactly how to connect a domain you own so that your project is accessible through a clean, professional URL instead of a temporary preview link. Let's start with a bit of context. When you deploy a project on Vercel or create something with v0.Dev, you'll usually get a default URL that Vercel provides. That's fine for testing, but for production or sharing with others, you'll almost always want to use your own custom domain like yourcompany.com. To make that work, you need to connect your domain to Vercel and then update your domain's DNS settings with your domain registrar, such as GoDaddy, Namecheap, or wherever you bought your domain. Once you've added the domain on v0.dev, or if you're working with a regular Next.js project on Vercel, the key step is pointing your DNS to Vercel. Think of DNS as the internet's address book. When someone types your domain into their browser, DNS decides where to send that request. Right now, it's probably pointing to your registrar's parking page or some default host, and we need to change that so it points to Vercel instead. First, open your Vercel dashboard and navigate to the project you want to connect your domain to. Inside that project, look for the Settings section. Once you're in Settings, find and open the Domains tab. This is where Vercel lists all domains that are currently attached to that specific project. On this page, you'll likely see a warning that says missing configuration next to your domain. This message is actually very helpful. It's Vercel telling you that the domain has been recognized, but the DNS records haven't been set up correctly yet. In other words, Vercel is ready, but your registrar still needs to be updated so traffic knows where to go. If you click into that warning or look closely at the domain details, Vercel will usually show you the exact DNS records you need to add. For most setups, that will be either A records pointing to Vercel's IP addresses or CNAME records pointing to a Vercel-provided host name. Make a note of these values or keep this tab open because you'll need them in a moment. Now, open a new tab and log into your domain registrar account. This could be GoDaddy, Namecheap, or any other provider where you purchased your domain. Once you're signed in, go to the DNS management or DNS settings section for the domain you want to use. This page controls where your domain points. Here, you'll either edit existing DNS records or create new ones to match what Vercel showed you in the domain settings. Carefully copy the host, type, and value exactly as Vercel specifies. Save your changes on the registrar side and then go back to Vercel and give it a moment to detect the new configuration. DNS changes can take a bit of time to propagate, anywhere from a few minutes to sometimes an hour or more, depending on your provider. After a short wait, refresh the domains page in your Vercel project. Once the records are set correctly and propagation has started, that missing configuration warning should disappear and Vercel will mark the domain as properly configured and active. At that point, your custom domain should be live and serving your Vercel or v0.dev project.